Ah, welcome. Okay. Uh, Steely Dan Part 2. Here we're going to look at the chords and a strumming pattern for the verses. And then there's just one more thing, which is the solo. Okay, the verses, let's get the chords first. So we've gone from the chorus. The chorus goes around this C, F, A minor, B flat, and it does that several times, and you can count them if you so wish. But on the last one, so that the move from the intro and from the choruses into verses, it's going around this chord progression: C, F, A minor, B flat. And then the last time it just goes C, F, and then you're into the first chord of the verses. That's a phone call, which I'm not going to take. And sorry about that. Let me turn that volume down. God, that's annoying. Right. There. God. Okay, sorry about that. Right. So, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So you go into each verse from the intro or from a chorus, and you've got just basically the first two chords of your chorus and intro chord progression, which is C for 2 beats, F for 2 beats, and yeah, that's what I was saying. And then you're into the first chord of the verse, and that is an A minor or an A minor 7. They're interchangeable, and I say that because in the song you're getting from the whole band, from what the whole band is playing, sometimes you're hearing an A minor and sometimes you're hearing an A minor 7. Well, that's how I hear it anyway. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say if the guitar was picking out an A minor, but the keyboard put in the note G, well then you'd hear an A minor, but with G in, but probably in that register or that register, and that G is what makes it an A minor 7 rather than just an A minor. So anyway, your first chord is A minor or A minor 7. Your second chord is D minor or D minor 7, whichever one you prefer. Okay, so we got A minor, D minor, G, C, F, B flat, C. Then we've got this rundown, which I get into, but just that chord progression that I just did, that's a cycle of fourths. A minor, D minor, G, C, F, B flat. What does cycle of fourths mean? Meaning that A, 1, 2, 3, 4, you get to D, then D to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, then there's G, then G to C, 4, C to F. Yeah, so they're 4 notes apart. Each chord is 4 notes apart. And you just hear these chord progressions resolving in different ways, but you hear that cycle of fourth thing a lot. Why? I don't know. The ear likes it, and it seems that it likes it because if you look at a one of those round diagrams, the circle of fifths and fourths, which is showing the keys and how they're related to each other. So you have the key of C major in the middle, and then to the left you have F major, and to the right you have G major, because those keys are the ones most closely related to C major. Why are they the most closely related? Well, because they're almost exactly the same. C major has no sharps or flats in it. It's just the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C. So on a piano, no black notes. The scale of G, which is a fifth away, C, D, E, F, G, The scale of G only has one black note. It has an F sharp in it rather than an F. So apart from that one note, it's exactly the same as C major. Yeah, so they're very similar. And similarly, the scale of F, which is a fourth apart, C, D, E, F, from C, it has, excuse me, it has one black note. It has a B flat rather than a B. Yeah, so the scale of G and the scale of F are the most closely related scales to the scale of C, yeah, because they're only one note difference, and that's a semitone difference each one. And that's what the cycle of fourths and fifths is. It shows you the relationship of the scales to each other. So, and it shows you how they progressively more or less related to each other. So C, like I said, is very related to F and G. They just have one note difference. Then it shows you on both sides the next scale, which is just one note difference. So you go from C to G, and then what's the next one? D. Then you have the scale of D, which is, so G had one note different from C, and the scale of D has one note different to G, etc. And so you just keep adding one note difference, and then you go around this scheme, this circle, showing how closely related each scale is to each other. Now, how did I get into that? Oh, because that chord sequence, I guess that's why we like the sound of it, because these movements of fourths, they're very consonant, yeah, they're very harmonious to us. So you get loads of songs with that chord movement in. Anyway, that was a digression. Sorry. So you've got A minor, D, G, C, F, B flat, and then it goes to C again. It goes back to C. The time we're spending on each one is again 2 beats. Sorry, it starts on A minor, doesn't it? So. Right, so the strumming pattern I'm doing there, let me just have a look at the lyrics. So for the first verse, I can't remember how he scans it, so we go. Time's up, you're afraid to pay the fee, so you find yourself somebody who can do the job for free. When you need a bit of love, 'cause your man is out of town, that's the time to get me running, and you know I'll be around. Okay, so before I go into anything else, I'm doing that very similar strumming pattern. I'm emphasizing beats 2 and 4 because that's what gets very emphasized in the song. So I've got 1E and a 2E and a, yeah, or I'll go through the chord sequence again. 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2. Sorry, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a, yeah. So that brings you in the first verse to the lyrics, who can do the job for, and then you've got the word free, and then you've got this chord progression. By the way, the strumming pattern, 1E and a 2, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, ghost, up, down, ghost, sorry, down, ghost, up, down, down, ghost, up, down, ghost, down, ghost, up, down, ghost, down, ghost, up, down, ghost, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, so ba ba da, ba ba da, ba ba da, if your hand is moving in time, you can do what I just did then. Wherever you want, you can put in extra strums because they'll be in time. They'll be on those 16th note beats. Yeah. So we've got that chord progression, that cycle of fourths chord progression. A minor, D minor, G, C, F, B flat, C. 2 beats on each, yeah? 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Then you got this bit. G over B, A minor, G, F. It says F major 7 there. I would just play a normal F. What you want as the top note of each chord, for the G, the top note is that B string note, the 3rd fret of the B string. Then you've got and they say G over B, so you know G over B. It's this one, it's like the middle of a G shape, yeah? So 2nd fret A string, 3rd fret B string. Now, if you're strumming it, you need to mute that top string with the underside of the 3rd finger and the thickest string with the tip of the 1st finger, yeah? You might want to pick it if you have a, with fingers and thumb. If you have a plectrum, you can just strum the middle 4 strings. Yeah. I'll go back to fingers because I think most of you use fingers. So for the G over B, if I was strumming, I'd mute that top E string. Again, when I got to the A minor, I'd mute that top E string. And then I'm to G again, but with G in the bass. This time, when I have G in the bass here, I want that open B string rather than B string 3rd fret, so that I get this movement of melody. La, la, la. Yeah? And then finally an F, and the lowest note, the highest note I want on the F is that note on the G string, 2nd fret, yeah? So that I've got this going on. La, 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 la. So, la, 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 la. But I'm going to play it full of chords. G over B, A minor 7, G, F. And for that G, I did put 2 fingers there, but you don't really need that one. Yeah, you can just fret the low E string, mute the A string, whether you're picking or strumming. Yeah. Okay, and the count there is 1 beat on each. So it's like a bar of 4 suddenly. So you got 1, 2 from the beginning of a verse. Times are hard, times are hard. You're afraid to pay the fee, so you find yourself somebody who can do the job for free. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So you're going from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then you've got the same chord progression again of A minor, D minor, G, C, F, B flat, C again. And then you end on a D minor, the verse, and because they're jazz guys, you don't spend 2 beats or 4 beats on that D minor, you're going to spend 3 beats on it. So you've been spending 2 beats on each chord, except for this bit, 1, 2, 3, 4, but that was still a bar of 4. Then you get to that D minor at the very end, 'cause your man is out of town, that's the time you get me running, and you know I'll be around. 2, 3, I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah, yeah. So you spend 3 beats. It's a bar of 3, 4 on the end of each verse with that D minor. Yeah. And then, as you saw, then you go into a chorus. Now, that's it. That's what happens on every verse. We've gone through in the other video what happens on every chorus. There's just that sax solo bit, and they've got the chords right here in the ultimate guitar world. And so if I was going into it from the chorus previously, we've got the last line of it. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah. C, F, then 1, 2. Now when we get to the saxophone solo, we're going to spend a bar on each of those chords. Bar on G, 3, 4. Bar on E minor, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So G to E minor happens twice. Then we've got a bar of F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar of F and G, yeah. And then it ends on a D minor. And then just like you did for the verses, instead of counting to 4, you're just going to count to 3. So if I take it from the F and the G, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Yeah. So you had 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Good. Fantastic song. Brilliant. Love it. And yeah, that is it. So have fun with that. Okay. Bye.